Good evening. Today is October 8th, 2024. The time is now 7 p.m. Welcome to the San Marino Unified School District Board of Education meeting. Here's our board president, Shelley Ryan.
Thank you, Claude. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to start our session. It is 7:01. Call to order. I'd like to do a roll call. Mrs. Lamb?
Here.
Mrs. Gill?
Here.
Mr. Chang?
Here.
Mrs. Ryan, I, and Ms. Ta.
Here.
Thank you. I'd like to now turn it over to Dr. Lena Richter to introduce our student leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Go ahead.
Thank you, President Ryan. Tonight, we are pleased to welcome an amazing fifth grade Valentine Viking to lead the board in the flag salute and come up and share a little bit about his school, his amazing school, and maybe introduce the guests that are here with you. So I would like to welcome Mr. Warren Sun to come up to the podium.
Come on up, Mr. Sun.
Good evening. I would like to extend a warm welcome to Superintendent De La Torre, Board President Wyan, distinguished board members, the executive team, and all those in attendance tonight. My name is Warren Sun, and I'm a fifth grade Viking at Valentine Elementary School. I'm joined here by my principal, Mrs. McAlpine, my teacher, Miss Joyce, and my loving mother and brother. Valentine is not just a school. It's a place filled with amazing teachers, staff, and of course, great students. Our school has a long and proud history, standing strong for an incredible 86 years. I feel lucky to be part of this legacy, having joined Valentine in third grade and now enjoying my last and final year as a Viking. Valentine may have started as a small school, but over the years, it has grown into the wonderful place we all know and love. Every grade is working hard, and I'm especially excited about what we're going to learn in fifth grade. In social studies, we're diving into the American Revolution as part of our unit on European explorers, and I can't wait to learn more. In September, we had lunch with a loved one, where family members came to the school and had a picnic lunch. It was great to see all the smiles, and the kids were especially happy to eat In-N-Out, McDonald's, and all the yummy food their parents bought. To make the day even more memorable, San Marino police officers were on campus playing handball with the second graders. These were the core memories us students at Valentine get to have, and this was just one day at school. Last weekend, students and families attended the Valentine Fall Fair, and it was so much fun. The theme was Dream Big, Shine Bright, Vikings, and I love the space theme this year. Students enjoyed a day of fun game booths, inflatables, the dunk tank, and lots of food trucks and prizes. It is a day us fifth graders will look back on and smile. I want to thank all of you for your continuous support in making our school such a special place. Thank you again for your time and dedication, and I hope you all have a fantastic week.
All right.
Tonight, as I welcome you to the San Marino Unified School District Board meeting, I would like to pay respect to our country and our flag. Please join us as we recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand quietly and respectfully. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Warren, we'd like you to come right here front and center. We're going to take some pictures and I'm going to present you with a certificate of appreciation for leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance this evening and also for telling us how wonderful Valentine School has been for you as a student. And you are a very articulate, you did a great job speaking. Here's your certificate of appreciation. I'd like you to stand right up here. Yep, so we can take a picture. There you go. Can we get the principal in here? Sure. You want to take a picture first? Sure. Let's get you in between the board president and I. Let's get the teacher and the principal up here. And then we're gonna get mom and brother up here too. Come on, don't be shy. Yes. Yeah. Okay, and then let's get a picture with your mom and your brother without us in it. Yeah. And you show your certificate. Yeah. Very good. Perfect. Okay. Cute. Oops, wait a minute. Mr. Chang's making an adjustment there. There we go. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Oh, is it? Oh, that's your chair. All right, next, I would like approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Move to approve. Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Lamb. Thank you, Mrs. Gill. Roll call, Mrs. Lamb,
Aye.
Mrs. Gill.
Aye.
Mr. Chang,
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan, I, and Ms. Ta.
Aye.
All right, the motion has passed for the approval of the agenda. Approval of minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the 9:24 minutes, meeting minutes?
And I to approve of minutes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chang. Second,
Second.
thank you, Ms. Lamb. Roll call, Ms. Lamb,
Aye.
Ms. Gill.
Abstain for absence.
Okay, Mr. Chang,
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan, I, and Ms. Ta.
Aye.
Thank you. Next, we have the San Marino Unified School District Spotlight. I'd like to turn it over to Principal Wolf to introduce our San Marino High School 2025 Tournament of Roses finalists. Ms. Dr. Wolf.
Thank you, President Ryan, Superintendent Delatorre, members of the board. I am very happy to introduce our Rose Court finalists this year, Miss Giovanna Falda. And to tell you a little bit about her, Giovanna is kind of the poster child for the well-rounded high school student because she has been a varsity soccer and water polo player. And she is also heavily involved in our drama department. She has been in the spring musical and was the lead in last year's fall play. She also has a 3.7 GPA and also volunteers for her church group. So I think that's pretty outstanding in addition to being a Rose Court finalist. So congratulations, Giovanna.
And up here, we have some roses for you. Yeah, but we're gonna come around and take a photograph with you. And we have a certificate of recognition that I'll read to you as soon as I can make my way. And this certificate of recognition reads as follows. Giovanna Folda, in honor of your outstanding achievement as a 2025 Tournament of Roses Rose Court finalist, your dedication, grace, and commitment have earned you a place among the best and brightest, and you have made our community incredibly proud. We celebrate your accomplishments and commend your contributions to the spirit of excellence, leadership, and grace. Thank you so much for making us so proud, and we're so happy for you. Picture? Oh, there you are. Come on, let's take a board in here. Principal Wolf, you should be in here too. Okay. There we go. Okay, thank you so much.
Congratulations.
All right. Next, we have public comment. The Board of Education has adopted board policy 9323B to ensure the public's right to be heard in any matters pertaining to the San Marino Unified School District. Persons who wish to provide public comment will have 3 options to submit public comments. First, you may submit through an online form. As of 3:30 this afternoon, we did not have any submissions. Second, you may request to speak during the meeting via Zoom. Are there members?
There are members online.
Okay, so let's pause for a minute.
Start the timer. We have 1 minute. Communications from the audience regarding matters not on the agenda or items in the consent or information sections. Please provide your comments now. For items in the action section of the agenda, please provide your comments prior to the board beginning discussion on those items. If you would like to request to speak during the meeting, please press the raise hand icon to make a request. If you're dialing in from home, please dial *9 to make a request or submit a public comment card. You have 30 seconds. And we do not have any hands raised.
All right, thank you. Request to speak during the meeting in person via the public comment card. Jennifer, there are no cards. All right, next consent section. Do I have a motion to approve the consent section 9A through 9I?
I move to approve consent section 9A through I.
Thank you, Mrs. Gill. Thank you, Ms. Lamb. Roll call, Ms. Lamb.
Aye.
Mrs. Gill.
Aye.
Mr. Chang. Mrs. Ryan, aye, and Ms. Ta.
Aye.
Thank you. The motion to approve consent sections 9A through 9I have been approved. Next, communication section from the Board of Education. We ask that each board member take no more than 2 to 3 minutes to share their communication. Ms. Lamb.
Thank you. So this past Saturday, I had a great time attending the Carver Parent Party, along with Clerk Gill and also President Ryan, and our superintendent. It was really, really fun. And I really want to take the moment to extend a heartfelt thanks to the PTA. I know that they planned for this event tirelessly, weeks leading up to it and week of, basically many of them losing sleep night before, many of them still at the location planning and setting up. So it was with that effort from the PTA that so many parents got to enjoy such a wonderful evening and helped raise a lot of funds for the school. It was a very exciting party because especially during the auction, I know that just the coveted parking spot had raised $22,000. So that was an amazing event of the night. Definitely one of the highlights. I also think the party is a fantastic opportunity for parents to get together. So it's just one of the events that each school site has this great pleasure of having and enjoying. So I really loved it. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Gill?
Well, I went to quite a few events in the last month since I wasn't here last time, but mainly I want to thank everyone at all the school sites who have been doing so much. I've attended all 4 school sites. I'm sorry, 3 out of the 4 school sites PTA meetings in this last month and PTA council, and all membership have voted to support Measure M. And so I think that it's nice that they are recognizing the needs of our facilities, and I was there in an informational capacity. Some people did have some board questions about the facility needs that were great to answer. And this coming Saturday, I know we have a facilities tour of all of our school sites, if anyone is interested in checking that out firsthand. I also attended the Carver Parent Party, which I just echo Board Member Lamb's sentiment about how fun it was and just successful. It was great. I mean, I feel like everyone thought the energy there, the comments were pre-COVID, you know, it's just like people were just having so much fun and being so generous for Carver. And then I went to the Valentine Fall Fair that morning, actually, and that is just the same amount of excitement, but basically the kids were having it instead of all the parents. So a good time was had by all. So anyway, thank you to everyone who participated and supports our schools.
Thank you so much, Ms. Gill. So, Mr. Chang.
September 25, we have a group including Dr. Territory and Dr. Richter and Dr. Ward and me. We visit for a volleyball medical high school in Lincoln High. The purpose because we have a medical art academy, so we like to see what kind of program they offer. So we team up with their student, and they have a Q&A, and then after lunch, so they also arrange to the lab at the USC, medicine and the pharmacy school. Luckily, those two lab professor, I already know them. So so we are very closer. So I believe with this tour can give our group some idea how we want to develop for our future internship program. And then the September 26th, as the Board of Governors in the Huntington Library, and I attend the advanced committee. So we are talking about how to expand some of the program for the community. And then the September 26th, San Marino School Foundation have a new family mixer at the Omea. I think this is always meaningful, you know, when the new student parent come to the community, they offer a courtesy for them, everyone get together, introduce each other, so then they feel they already get used to in the community. And then the Saturday, I and Sherry Ryan, our board president, we attend the PCC 100 year, including Dr. Territory and Dr. Richter. You know, the 100 year is a long journey, or especially PCC in our community. So I think that also educate a lot of the people in this community became the workforce. I think, you know, we have a deal enrollment with them is a good partnership. And October 2nd, you know, I meet the USC Medicine chair of ophthalmology department. So the reason, you know, I just also prepare for the future, you know, the internship, the opportunity. And then the Friday, you know, one of Chinese car, no, it's not Chinese car director, it's a Chinese car member. So Usually, you know, in the Pasadena Raymond Avenue, so either every other Friday, so they have when you have an idea and you want to create your career, so you can, go there to talk, and you can attract a lot of people. Yeah, they want to start a business. So the Mr. Jonas Chai, so he talked about AI, how to utilize the AI to develop the business. I think that his speech is very good. I try to connect to our school district. I think everyone should also listen. Yeah, I think it's very practical. Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chang. And I think all my fellow board members have highlighted all of the events I attended. The new members welcome reception was a hit. I attended San Marino football. 100th birthday, 100th year birthday celebration for PCC. The Valentine Fair was wonderful. The silly string, the confetti eggs. I mean, what's not to like about that? Sugar, 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 right? I think, okay, never mind. I don't want to talk about that. And then, a Carver's parent party was just off the wall. I mean, the parents, the synergy in that outdoor courtyard and just the excitement surrounding the celebration of the school, the children, the families. You guys have some big shoes to fill because they really came together at the Carver Parent Night. Thank you, Stuart, and thank you for all of you guys that also joined us. The one thing I did want to make mention was that I attended a pros and cons presentation with the various propositions and measures that are coming out on this election. And I wanted to also encourage those of you that have not really heard or engaged in some of the discussions, or you haven't come out to see the schools. We have a facilities tour. We also want to provide more information for parents and families that are seeking for more information. And as well, there's about 10 coffees throughout the neighborhood that are being offered by our community members to just host and get people together talking about the things that are really important, not only for the city, but for our schools. And so Francesca and I attended Michelle and Andy Espinchay's coffee. I'm going to be attending several more. And so we look forward to meeting you in the community and answering all of your questions. So thank you. Next we have, okay, I think the student board member goes next. All right, Ms. Ta.
Okay, so last week, starting off with Carver, they had their Carver parent party last Saturday, and Valentine also had their fall fair. Huntington had their 6th grade outdoor ed to Kuyamaka, and the high school choir had their Sweets and Songs show last Friday. And for the past couple of weeks, different college representatives have been coming in during lunch, like Tufts and Loyola Marymount. And I think it's such a great way for seniors to get more information and to demonstrate their interest in each college. And in the upcoming weeks, Carver will have their 4th grade Newsies field trip to San Gabriel Playhouse. Valentine is going to have their PTA reflections workshop today. And at HMS this week is their 7th grade outdoor ed. And this Wednesday is their lunchtime, noontime fun. And at the high school, this Friday is our football game against South Pass. So hopefully we beat them. Very exciting. And next Friday is going to be our coronation dance. And this week also marks the HMS and SMHS end of first quarter.
Thank you so much, Ms. Tell. Dr. Linda Delatorre, it's all yours.
Thank you, Madam President. I am super excited to share with the Board of Education this evening some great news about San Marino High School. And we've been talking a lot about San Marino High School lately because they've had several tidbits of good news. But this is the latest and greatest. San Marino High School achieved all criteria to be listed on this year's AP School Honor Roll as a platinum school.
Wow.
Platinum is the highest mark that you can possibly receive. And for planning and goal setting, the 3 criteria for platinum schools are as follows. Expand your school's college culture by enabling 80% of your class of 2025 to experience 1 AP course before graduating. Assist with college affordability by enabling 50% of your class of 2025 to earn college credit by earning an AP exam score of 3 or better. Optimize students' college readiness by creating opportunities for 15% of your class of 2025 to take a total of 5 APs across their high school years, with at least 1 taken in either 9th or 10th grade. So it's just remarkable what San Marino High School has been able to accomplish with regard to their AP scores and pass rate, which is still at 93%. And even though we have increased dramatically at San Marino High School the number of AP courses offered to our students, we have also increased the number of students who are taking those classes and passing the exams. It's really impressive. And I just want to give a shout out to San Marino High School Principal, Dr. Ben Wolf, for that recognition. Also, I would be remiss in not mentioning Assistant Principal Sarah Penalora for her hard work in regard to this as well. So very proud of the high school, very proud of our students and their hard work and their wonderful accomplishments. And I've just passed out to you the document that Dr. Wolf shared with Dr. Richter and I this morning. So you have it in hand and you can look at that a little bit closer. As all of you have mentioned, we are going to be hosting school facility tours starting this Saturday, October 12th, commencing at 9 a.m. here in the boardroom. Is that correct, Dr.?
That is correct.
Thank you. And again, on October 18th, starting at 3 p.m. here in the boardroom. And we're going to be taking everyone over to Huntington and then Valentine first on a walking tour to see our facilities and to have the opportunity to be up close and in person with some of the facilities that do need maintenance and modernization and repairs, et cetera. Because again, we talk about all the facility needs that we have, but it's another thing to come to our schools and to go behind the scenes and see for yourself exactly what we're talking about. We do have just an insurmountable amount of need at our facilities, and we are going to be available to show it to you. Every single principal will be on hand at their school site to help guide the tour, along with all of our executive team members and our director of maintenance and operations, which I think will be exceedingly helpful. Along with that, there is going to be a coffee held at the City Center on October 14th at 10 a.m. My entire executive team will be attending that, and I look forward to the opportunity to address attendees and talk about our schools and our facility needs and answer any questions that they may have about this. Additionally, everybody knows that Prop 2 is going to be on the ballot, and people have been asking me a lot of questions about Prop 2, and I can only respond factually. I can't tell you how to vote. How you vote is entirely up to you. But what Prop 2 will do is provide funding for school facilities to school districts TK through grade 14, which includes community colleges. It will not include four-year colleges and universities. It's going to provide grants that schools can apply for, but only those schools who have passed their own local bond measure, only those schools will be eligible to apply for matching funds. And so I just want to make that very clear, because it looks like Prop 2 is polling very well in the state of California and is likely to pass. So only those communities that have passed their own local bond measure will be eligible for matching money. But it is very likely to pass, and those school districts will get that revenue. Let's see, we also received recently the new construction and modernization eligibility report, which I shared with the Board of Education in the weekly board memo And so we were able to get an estimate of the amount of money that we stand to receive in matching funds should Prop 2 pass and if Measure M passes. And so that is, it's looking good. You may have some questions about the money, but I think it's somewhere in the neighborhood of about $21,000 if you look at all the different various grants that we can receive. That we would be in line for. And the way it works, yes.
21,000?
Mhm. If you add up all of them. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Let me see, do I have it here?
What?
I can pull it up.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. Let me pull it up. Real quick, sorry.
So the interesting thing, while she's pulling it up, I just wanted to, not many people realize, but Prop 2 is not just, a matching fund. And when people say matching, they say dollar for dollar. So if you're going to get 200 million, are you going to double that? No, it's, the formula is such that it, relies on the community, the size, and the different projects. Prop 2 is interesting because Prop 2 allows us to finish some projects that we may have started, like at the Huntington Middle School, the sports arena, the gym. Some things that we may have started if we start replacing things. So Prop 2 money is not just for new facilities or new construction. It is for taking care of things that we've started but have been unable to complete because of funding. So that's another one.
Thank you for that. Is it possible for me to share my screen? Do you have it, Dr. Troy? Oh, Dr. Troy has it up.
Can I airdrop
Can
it to you or? Yeah.
Can you share, Dr. Troy, the amounts? So the total is 22,000, or I'm sorry, 22 million.
That's what I, that's what I thought.
7,000. Yeah, what did I say?
1,000.
Oh, no, I meant 22 million. I'm so sorry. I misspoke. I thought you were questioning the 22. I didn't know that I said, I'm sorry. $22,057,193. That would be for Carver, Valentine, Huntington, and San Marino High School. And the way that breaks down is it talks about the eligibility and the fact that our enrollment has been increasing has helped us to be eligible for more funds than we were previously. The fact that there is no money at the state level right now, by the way. So we're applying to get in line for this should we pass our own measure. But if we can share this screen, it'll help. Are you trying to pull it up, Steve, or can I
Yeah,
share my
emailed
screen?
it to Quack and he'll bring up the PDF.
Okay. All right, so while he's pulling that up, Carver Elementary School, the district would pay $1,184,739. And the state share of that would be $1,777,000. Keep going, scroll down. We can get to the same place. Keep going.
I think it was at the bottom of page
Yeah.
1.
Right there. That's what I was looking at. This is the San Marino Unified School District Modernization Eligibility Analysis. So this is on modernization, not on new construction. By the way, new construction is separate. But you can see how this chart breaks it down based on the school site, the eligibility, the state share, the district share, and the total. So if you're just looking at the state share of money, it's really 13,234,316 that we are eligible to receive. And then we would have to pay the $8,822,877 as our share of that. And that's how we get to the $22,057,193 figure. And there's additional monies available for new construction. And is that the first page or the first chart?
That's the modernization one. There's an analysis after that.
I'm looking for the one that shows new construction.
That is on page 3 of the PDF. New construction?
Page 3?
Yes, it.
Okay, so San Marino Unified School District new construction eligibility analysis. So K through 6 grants. 20 estimated 50% state grant is $21,289,500. And for our SDC classrooms, it's $531,768. So there's money on the table should Prop 2 pass and Measure M pass that we would be eligible for. And what we have done is we've already signed off on the application to get in line so that we don't lose any time on that. As other districts pass their measures, they're going to be in line and they're going to be eligible to receive this money. So we want our fair share of that money if we can, you know, if all things come together and Prop 2 passes and Measure M passes, that's the amount of money that we would stand to receive, which is healthy. It's a healthy amount. Any questions on that? Okay. All right. Thank you for pulling that up, Dr. Choi and Pump. I appreciate that. Also, I was asked by a board member to update the Board of Education on the cell phone ban that Governor Newsom recently signed that will affect all schools in California. The good news is when I surveyed our school site principals, we already have restrictions in place at each of the schools for student use of cell phones. And so when we implement a new policy, it will not be difficult, I don't believe, for our students to adjust to a new policy. We have until 2026 to come up with a board policy that will need to be updated every 5 years pursuant to the statute. And we will be working on that very soon. But again, we're already not allowing students to be on their phones during class time unless it's related to a student assignment or some type of activity that the teacher is leading in school. But I did want to say and reiterate this, as the board already knows, students having access to technology during the school day has led to cyberbullying. It's led to mental health issues among students. And that's not across the board. It's just something that does exist and something that the Surgeon General has even distributed and issued a warning on. So it's a very serious matter. And the research does demonstrate that it is just not healthy for kids to be on their phones throughout the school day. They will be available to students for emergency use. Students with some disabilities will have access to their phones. And so there are exceptions to this law that will allow some students to have access. But for the most part, it's not going to be a great departure from where we are currently today in San Marino. Our parents are very supportive of the policies that we're already implementing at each one of the schools. And our students are very accepting of those policies. So that's it.
Okay, thank you. And any questions or comment? All right. Next, information item only. I'd like to turn it over to Principal Caldwell, Principal McAlpine for the 24-25 elementary school board goals presentation.
Thank you, President Ryan. Dr. De La Torre, board members and executive team. It's our pleasure and honor to be here to present our progress this year on our board goals. Whitney and I are going to take turns with that because we have all kinds of good stuff to share, and you're going to kick us off, right?
Good evening. So safety and wellness is not only a top priority within the district, but also it's a main focus at our elementary schools as we put in continuous efforts to improve the safety of our schools and the well-being of our students. Both elementary schools are continuing implementation of positive behavior interventions and supports, also known as PBIS.
as well as restorative practices training for administrators as well as site leaders. So this year, our school counselors, school psychologists, and librarians are also being trained. Both schools have also been recognized once again through California PBIS, Carver earning a silver award and Valentine earning a gold award for our implementation last year. We're continuing to work with our PBIS teams at the school sites to improve our practices, continue trainings for teachers, and having school cultures that are based on creating safe, positive, equitable schools where everyone feels successful and connected. So in order to cultivate safety and wellness at our schools, it really involves community, our parents, being aware, as well as clear communication to all of our educational partners. And so we are blessed to have such wonderful and involved parents, our PTAs, as well as our community members who are invested in keeping our students safe. We will also continue to have our site safety teams review and analyze our comprehensive school site safety plans, also in collaboration with our school site councils, the San Marino Police and Fire Departments as well. We also will continue our annual safety trainings and drills for staff and students, and we teach and practice procedures for different emergencies like earthquake, fire, and even critical incident. Our school counselors are continuing to teach second step social emotional learning curriculum to our students throughout this school year. As students learn skills for different topics like learning and growth mindset, empathy and kindness, emotion management, problem solving, and then also in the month of October, bullying prevention. We want our parents to know also about the additional resources we have available at both schools with our partnership with the Titan Wellness Center. And so that information is available in our parent-student handbooks, and we'll also continue to promote our partnership with the Titan Wellness Center in our weekly newsletters. And just a little information, in the first 40 days of this school year, the elementary schools have referred 25 students to the Wellness Center, and currently 19 of them are receiving services this year. And then lastly, we will continue to partner with our community to offer events such as the bike safety rodeo, training with San Marino Fire on life-saving measures. That was really an amazing training for our staff when staff learned how to use tourniquets, a refresh on CPR, using fire extinguishers to really put out a real fire, which was fun too. And then also promoting events through Partnership for Awareness that surrounds safety and wellness through our weekly school newsletters.
Good things are always happening at Carver and Valentine. And so when we think about the fiscal health and sustainability goal for the board, one of the things that really stands to mind is our PTAs and the active role. I've heard Dr. De La Torre and board members share time and again what a special and unique place we are here in San Marino Unified. Both Ms. McAlpine and I are very fortunate and blessed to have such actively involved parents who give of their time, their effort, and their treasure to help make our schools the amazing places they are. We saw a great example of that at the parent party. We know that Valentine is going to do their best to come right in at the same level, maybe exceed. I don't know, little health competition is never a bad thing. But we actually work hand in hand with our PTAs through the allocation process to make sure that the money that they raise goes straight back to supporting our students and to helping our teachers be able to give them the top class education experience that they have. By way of example, both Ms. McAlpine and I were able to tap our PTAs to make sure that our teachers had the latest technology. Both PTAs supported purchasing brand new MacBook Pros for the staffs. That was in excess of $93,000 for us and for them. Our parents really want our schools to excel in all those things. We also want to make sure that we're sharing those successes, just like we are here tonight. One of the great big successes that is a blessing and it has its own challenges is the incredible enrollment that we have both at Carver and Valentine. My PTA president kind of teased me and said she's going to Vegas because you can see our current enrollment is 777. And the day I looked that up, we had only 7 students absent. So 7777, which was an attendance rate of 99% at our principal meeting just this past Friday. We all kind of looked at our attendance, and great news around that for our successes. Kids want to come here. We were both at 98% and above. The middle school was at 98%. Dr. Wolf didn't have a chance to look at his, but I'm sure it was up there as well, right? So we celebrate those. We make sure that we're giving prospective families tours of our campuses. I had 15 families lined up to tour last Friday. And we are unique in the world here in California anyway, and that for many folks, we are able to say truthfully that we have waiting lists at every grade unless you are a San Marino resident. Kids want to come and families want to come to San Marino Unified Schools. Both of us in the elementary schools feel that time and time again. We really work hard to ensure that our budgets are aligned with our board priorities and our district priorities. Dr. Choi and his team have made a point to work with Ms. McAlpine and I in particular on that to support us as we work to align the funding so that it maximizes what our teachers can do to service our students. We also work with the San Marino Schools Foundation. We attended the new families welcome last night, and I'm going to share a quick anecdote. I've shared this with my staff, and it's something that just touches my heart. Of the 3 families that were brand new to Carver, all 3 of them shared some version of this story. The one that I'm going to talk about has a 5th grader and a 1st grader with us and came up and said, Mr. Caldwell, I just want to let you know, this is the first time my children have liked coming to school. My daughter used to have heartache, she'd get headaches and stomach aches, but your teachers make a point of connecting with your students, making sure they recognize them. My kids feel welcome. She spoke in particular about her 5th grade teacher, Miss Brambila, who I shared the comments with. And she said, in fact, that her child, she had to take her to a doctor's appointment. She said, okay, we're going to go home. And her 5th grader said, no, I don't want to disappoint Miss Brambila. I want to go to school. And I know that the cultures that we sustain at both schools actually exemplify exactly that. Our kids want to come to school. It's evidence in the attendance rate. We're proud to showcase our schools on those tours on a regular basis. We're proud to put things out there publicly, which is really, what we're talking about in the last bullet there is making sure that we're putting ourselves forward to our community. The biggest tool for publicizing our schools is really, I think, the thing that drives so many folks to want to come here, and that's word of mouth. I heard board members talk about the energy at the parent party. I know the same existed at Valentine during the festival, where our parents feel welcome. They share with their friends and colleagues, both here in the community and in their professional lives, and their families want to come to San Marino Unified Schools.
Right, so the elementary schools are also supporting board goal number 3 through cultivating a culture of service, value, and appreciation at our schools. One that will not only benefit our students, but also strengthen our entire communities. And as principals, we believe that our actions speak louder than words. We are committed to modeling this culture daily, whether we're in classrooms, we're at events, or we're just engaging with our community. By being present, we aim to show our students and staff just how much we value their hard work. And that goes into celebrating achievements, big and small, and it's crucial. Through PBIS, we have implemented a recognition program that highlights acts of service and kindness, fostering a sense of pride and belonging among our students and staff. And what better way to show our appreciation than public shout outs, recognition of the actions that we see happening every day on our campuses. We love and support all that our PTAs do for our schools, and principals are continuing to publicly say thank you to our PTA boards, our event chairs, our school volunteers who really help make our schools such special places to be. Through PTA community engagement, we also encourage our students to take part in community service projects, empowering them to understand the importance of giving back and what that means and why it's important. Through the training for restorative practices, we've also learned that a large part in educational partners feeling connected and valued is giving a voice to as many people in the school community and collecting feedback as temperature checks on how things are going at the school. And so involving families and staff is essential, and we'll continue to offer professional development focused on instilling these values. creating opportunities for families to engage in school activities. Open communication will also allow us to gather feedback and share ideas, ensuring that everyone is feeling heard and appreciated. And our goal is to really create an inclusive, welcoming environment. And we want students to feel valued. And I think we're doing a really good job at that as kids want to be at our schools. We also set clear behavior expectations through PBIS, and that helps reinforce our commitment to having, which really ties in all of the board goals, but having safe schools where kids want to be and parents want their kids to be. Our staff also has social committees, and they're very active at the school sites, and they offer opportunities and events for staff to build relationships, connections with one another. And this has been extremely helpful with the addition of new staff over the last 3 years that both Dr. Caldwell and I have been at the sites, because we continue to grow and we continue to need additional staff. And then lastly, we are going to continue to share out all the amazing things happening at our schools, highlighting our students, staff, and what's happening in schools and classrooms. And so we are just committed to creating a vibrant culture that not only enhances the educational experience, but also instills a lifelong commitment to service and appreciation in our students.
And that leads us right into the next one, which is global citizens, right? High quality global citizens. And we want to make sure that our kids are prepared with not just the academic skills, but the soft skills to be successful. And all the things that Ms. McAlpine spoke about are really instrumental in helping with that. Both Ms. McAlpine and I use data to guide the tuning of our instructional practices. We both have engaged during our PD time that we're very thankful that we have built into the calendar to take our staff through data inquiry cycles to reach beyond the intuition and the natural skills that teachers have relative to how their students are performing, but to actually dig down into the data and be able to tune to meet the kids that are ready for some acceleration and that might need a little bit of help rising to the challenges that they have. So those growth areas and the action plans that our teachers come up with are things that they check in on 3 times officially during the school year, but multiple times throughout the school year. This is what really helps us to make sure that we're really addressing the students that are in front of us and not just marching forward with curriculum. We also really want to make sure that we're supporting our students being able to engage in our communities. We're very proud. If you'll recall, last year, we celebrated Carver Student Council here. We won top recognition in the nation for our student council. Ms. McAlpine has brought over interested teacher, and I know that they're excited to be starting student council themselves or aiming to do so in the spring. It's really, really special to see students being able to experience, one, the democratic process in a very healthy and positive way without lots of mudslinging. And 2, to be able to give back to their communities and have leadership. The way that we both develop our student councils in the elementary process is having a fall and a spring, which effectively allows us to double the number of students that will participate in those programs. And I know that Valentine is moving slow to move fast to have it really set in place, but we have such good positive role models and good partnerships to make those things happen. We are also very blessed here in San Marino Unified to be able to utilize a wide range of technology to support the personalized instruction and the needs of our students. We saw a little bit of that at the parent party, those that were there. We had the ViewSonic boards that were ready, and our teachers utilized those to really engage the students in meaningful ways and in interesting ways. And our kids march forward faster with those skills than I do. We have a couple of teachers who are very skilled at it, and Kwok came over and worked on some training, but it's amazing what our kids can accomplish. When we think about AI, I heard board member Chang talking about AI in the conference there, and our kids, the world is their oyster. They're ready to march forward with it, and we really work hard to provide those experiences for our students here in San Marino Unified at both Carver and Valentine. We want to make sure that our students also have that core piece that education throughout the country sometimes struggles with, and that's access to rich literacy experiences. Our library is par excellence. It's something to be very proud of. I know that's something that's in the bond measure, for Valentine. We want to make sure that we have comparable facilities there. Our kids love to read at any given point. It's such a pleasure as principals to walk around and see students carrying books. The other day when we were doing the restorative practice training at Valentine, I saw the same thing that I see at Carver, which is kids with big piles of books and walking around and reading because they're excited to engage in literacy activities, and they talk about their books and they feel the books and they have those experiences. So we're proud to be able to provide that. That again actually comes through the generosity of our PTAs. Our PTAs are really what support the building of those collections. In large part, for the past 2 years, we've been able to tap with Dr. Richter's guidance some of the grant funds to help supplement that a little bit. But our PTAs really own that, and they work in partnership with us to make that happen. We work hard to celebrate the richness and diversity of our schools. We are so very proud of how diverse our school populations are and how we're able to highlight and celebrate the full range of students and families that come to both Carver and Valentine on a regular basis. We do that through all kinds of cultural activities, but more importantly, it's done in our classrooms on a daily basis. Thinking about students feeling welcome, feeling appreciated. Again, you wouldn't have those attendance rates if that wasn't the case. And that comes because each of our children feel recognized and honored on a daily basis. At Carver, uniquely, we are very proud to continue to grow and develop our MDLI program, our Mandarin Dual Language program. Miss Lynn and Miss Tang now are practicing with me daily. Sao En is, my daily greeting, and then I have to grow beyond that. I love being able to learn with the kids, and they challenge me as I go in, with Dr. Richter's support, the board support, Dr. De La Torre, and everybody. We're able to really have a program that right now looks exemplary compared to those that we looked at when we were starting the implementation process. People talked about how you would have students peel off even after the first year. Our program is full. There's not space in it, and our kids are thriving. I checked in with the parents regularly, and oh my gosh, they're a happy, driven bunch, and the kids are excelling. We know that by third grade, these kids are going to soar on the test scores, but they're already doing that, guys. And it's such a pleasure. And we're so thankful to have that program at Carver. Thank you to the entire board. One thing that we'd like to end with, we look for an inspirational quote because we're driven by the good thoughts in the world. And for both Whitney and I, progress lies not in enhancing what is, but in advancing towards what will be. We're always looking further down the road. Every single year, we end up with a new group of students, and they just dive forward and thrive. We are so pleased and honored to be principals at Valentine and at Carver, and we very much appreciate the board giving us the guidance with the goals and supporting us in implementing them.
Great job.
Thank you so much to both our principals. Next, I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Jason Rose. He will be presenting on the, are there any, did you guys have any questions? I just thought everyone was very happy.
They were ready for questions.
What were you planning on answering?
My question to Stuart is, with all the parking spaces that you raffled off, where will you be parking?
I have a quick comment. I just would like to thank you both for engaging the families in such a meaningful way, because I feel like when I was a Valentine parent and it became a closed campus. So when I started, it was open, and families, the moms would come and dads would come and hang out after drop off and have that kind of community. And then that was really lacking for a while. But since Mrs. McAlpine has come in and really engaged those families, and the same at Carver, I think it's just a wonderful thing to see. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
All right. All right, Dr. Rose, we've stalled long enough. I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Jason Rose to present the Teaching Assignment Monitoring Outcomes 22-23. Okay, to the Board of Education.
All right, thank you, President Ryan, Board of Education, Superintendent Dr. Delatorre, Executive Cabinet, and Student Board Member. Teaching assignment monitoring outcomes is a data tool that helps determine if teachers are properly assigned to classrooms and are prepared to teach the classes they are assigned. The California Department of Education, otherwise known as the CDE, releases this data annually. Tonight, I'm sharing with you the most recent data release, which encompasses the 22-23 school year. So the CDE believes this data can help a district understand teacher preparation by determining if teachers are fully prepared to teach the classes they are assigned. It could also be used to identify misassignments by determining if a school has more teachers placed in the wrong classes than other schools in the district. It can help by identifying subject area shortages by determining if a district has shortages of fully prepared teachers in specific subject areas, or could identify areas for improvement by revealing where to focus on teacher recruitment and retention. So the CDE evaluates each teaching assignment along one or more attributes to determine if the teacher is authorized to teach the course and the students enrolled in it. This data is aggregated and displayed for the following outcomes. And I need to stress that these are the CDE's terms and not ours. This is not my choice of words. This is the CDE's choice of words. So these would not be some of the words that I would use. So they can either be designated clear, out of field, ineffective, intern, incomplete, unknown, or not applicable. I think it's important also to note that in the last few years, certain credentials have become much more specialized and narrow. For example, there was once upon a time, if you had a PE credential, you could teach dance, and now you have to have a dance degree and dance credential. It has also become, this is also very true when it comes to the world of special education. Once upon a time, you could have a credential that was mild, moderate, or moderate severe, and that encompassed anybody that would possibly come into your classroom. And now it's not the case. And we will see that in some of our results. So tonight, I'm just going to share with you our results, which you can see in the chart, and kind of go through a little bit of an explanation of why those numbers are what they are. I'm going to start with the elementary because it's a little bit easier. For Carver, we had one that was, or 3.4%, which turned out to be one person who was deemed, once again, this is the CDE's terms, not mine, ineffective. And that will happen to be a special education class where there was a student in there who had a eligibility that did not meet the teacher's credential. So for instance, this is not our case, but for instance, if you had a visually impaired student, but you do not have a visually impaired credential, according to the CDE, you are not supposed to be teaching that student. And so in this case, I believe there was a hard of hearing student and the teacher did not have a hard of hearing credential, so therefore they were deemed ineffective. So that is what that one's case is. In the case of Valentine, we had one late, and this is back in 22-23, so this is, I know it's a long time ago, and this is when I just started, so if you can remember when the glory days began of when I arrived. So, oh good, you are awake. Okay, that's good. All right, so, oh boy. So we had one very late resignation right at the beginning of the school year that we had to fill. We were able to fill it with what's called a provisional internship permit, which is legal, accepted, but in the world of the CDE, that is considered ineffective. So that is the one for Valentine. For the middle school, their area was more of the out of field and incomplete, and the out of field comes where our sixth grade, the way they core, and then they have to teach an elective or they have to teach PE because they are not credentialed in that. They get what they're considered out of field. So for instance, when our teacher teaches robotics, they're considered out of field. Doesn't mean they're ineffective. It just means that they're teaching something that is not specified by their credential. And that also applied to like our PE, how the sixth grade teachers teach PE. And then the incomplete, that was a argument going back and forth between myself and the state as that we were going over this. Because they said that, for instance, if there's an English learner in a class and you are not designated an ELD teacher, then we go back and forth saying, well, you have to be an ELD teacher. And then we argue about that this is not an ELD class, and it goes back and forth. And so at some point they decided, fine, then this is incomplete. We're not ruling. We're just saying it's incomplete. So that's why we got the 2.7 incomplete for the middle school. And then for the high school is a little bit because of the master schedule and all the one-offs and everything like that. So you have a lot of ours at the time. I think a lot of assignments were assigned to our assistant principal, who was doing like the Apex classes and things like that. And so some of those are because of that. We have, let's see, there was some special ed where we had students in there who kind of like the one for Carver, where the eligibility for the student did not match the teachers. Yes.
Did not having the block schedule that year contribute to this?
For no.
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 Okay.
No. At least I don't think so, no. Because the classes are still the same classes that we're offering. But a lot of them were just the one-offs where we as a district have, in some cases, we have said that we feel that this person, because of either their professional experience or their history of teaching, has the knowledge to teach the class, and we feel comfortable having them teach the class. But the state is saying, well, we don't know that person, so according to us, it's not okay. So that's what some of those are. And that is it for my report. I thank you, and I'm happy to field any questions that you may have. And if I don't have the answer, I will find the answer for you.
And every district is having to report this out
Yes.
in this way.
Yes.
From this day forward. It's a new rule, a new requirement, that this information be brought to the board. And just by way of clarification, I want to make clear that, forever and ever, we have been able to allow teachers to teach outside of their credential area if they have, the skills, the competency, by board authorization. So they are now just, requiring that we bring it to the board to make you aware that there are these variations in assignment, which every school district has in the state of California. And it gets particularly complicated at the secondary with the master schedules.
So
I-
for instance, we have approved our TK teachers because of their experience. They will probably show up here as out of field at some point because they do not have the TK credential. But yet we have, so that it's a little bit of, you're allowed to say that they're qualified, but then we're going to ding you for saying that they're qualified. So there's a little bit
Yeah.
of that.
Okay, question, so who evaluate for all the teacher? Is that you or the principal?
That's my job. Is to
Your
make sure
job?
that we are hiring the people who are credentialed.
Oh, wait.
So you are the one person to evaluate all the?
Oh, to evaluate? No,
Yeah.
the principals evaluate their teachers.
And do they have the timeline, when?
They do.
Which month they need to finish?
They do.
Yeah.
They're given a timeline at the beginning of the year. And it's also in the contract, but yes, there's a timeline that goes with that.
Is there anything attached to this reporting as far as like a threshold for where you need to be or where we
No,
are?
it's not like where
There's-
it's just, it
just
is what
is
it
what it
is.
is.
It just is what it is. It's more of, it's, I think it's to be used as a guide to see, oh, okay. Is that, for instance, is that 7.5% because we have unqualified people there, or is that 7.5% because we have deemed these people effective and the state doesn't know who we have there. So I think it's more for us to just examine and make sure that we are doing what we're supposed to be doing.
So this is the public data, so everyone can go
Mhm.
to the record to.
Yes, you can go on the CDE and see this, yes.
For every
So-
school district.
So we would be able, is there like a Like comparison, yeah, like
Uh,
what, like double digits for some other school, like at what point are we like, oh gosh, we should.
I would be
scale
very
down?
impressed if there was a school that was 100%. I would be very impressed, or a district, I should say. I'd be very impressed. You know, as a whole. Like for instance, you know, for the elementary, those two special cases, then we would have been 100% for those, you know. So one year you could be 100%, the next year you could be 94.7 or whatever.
So we have a policy in our school district where every single teacher has to have an authorization to provide services to limited English proficient students. And over the years, that authorization has changed. So some teachers may have a single subject, depending on when they got their credential, and a CLAD authorization. Some teachers may have the SB 1889 authorization, which is part of their credential, which allows them to provide that service. If we hire someone from another state, they may or may not have reciprocity here in California, so it gets very complicated. Let's say that they have an authorization to teach social science in Texas, and we hire them here in California. They have 1 year from the time we hire them to get that authorization to provide services to limited English proficient students. But if they don't have that, and let's say that they're hired here, but the state does give them the year, they're gonna show up as an exception because they don't have it right now. They may be on the path to getting it. So we make sure that every teacher is properly assigned to teach whatever it is that they're teaching. But this doesn't take that into consideration. It doesn't take the provisional internship permits, right? Into consideration, the district internship permits. There's a lot of different ways that you can assign a teacher to teach a particular subject that may even be outside of their credential area. And you can do that lawfully, legally. Sometimes you're looking at their transcripts, and if they have a certain number of semester units in the subject, then you might assign them through a committee on assignments if we had one. And once a year, I believe we bring to the Board of Education authorizations to get approved if we need them for a teacher to teach outside of their subject area. He was using PE as an example. That's a very common one at the middle school, where you have a 6th grade teacher that is the holder of a multiple subjects credential. That means they can teach any of the grades K through 6th grade. And because we have those classes scored at Huntington, they are lawfully assigned. But they can't necessarily teach PE to a 7th or 8th grader because that's a departmentalized class. They would need a single subject in physical education to be able to do that. So we can, though, get them authorized by board assignment to teach that one section. So this is not meant to say that we have teachers who are not appropriately assigned. And that's what's really hard. It's complicated to be able to go through this and, you know, not give you the specifics because you don't want to, you know, talk about the particular teacher, right, in public. But we could give that to the board, you know, in some other way if you need to have that. But I assure you that all of our teachers are qualified to teach their subject area, or we would not have them in those positions.
Correct.
All right, any other questions? All right, thank you, Dr. Rose. Next, this is an action item, everyone. I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Lena Richter to present resolution number 6. Resolution number 6, San Marino Unified School District is in support of Red Ribbon Week. It is recommended that the Board of Education adopt resolution number 6 in commemoration of Red Ribbon Week in the community of San Marino. Therefore, the district does hereby encourage all citizens to participate in alcohol, tobacco, drug education, and other prevention activities, thus making a visible statement that the district is strongly committed to a drug-free lifestyle. Did I just read your part? Okay, my bad. I was like, as I was thinking in my third sentence, wow, this seems kind of long introduction. Dr. Lena Richter. Toby McDonald, Chow, PFA president. I am so sorry. They put something in front of me. I just read it. Okay, I know.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you, President Ryan. I would just like to add that this year's National Red Ribbon Week is the week of October 23rd through October 31st, Halloween. And the official theme for this year's Red Ribbon Week is Life is a Movie, Film Drug Free. So this evening, we also have our amazing PFA president, Ms. Toby Chow, to join us today and talk a little bit more about Red Ribbon Week and some of the amazing activities that are planned from each of our school sites to help our students recognize and celebrate Red Ribbon Week.
Good evening, school board members, student board member, Superintendent Dr. Delatorre, and executive team. Partnership for Awareness, along with PTA and ASB, is proud to sponsor Red Ribbon Week 2024 from Wednesday, October 23rd to Thursday, October 31st. Although here in San Marino, it will be more like Red Ribbon Week month. Carver and Valentine plan to celebrate making healthy choices from Monday, October 21st to Friday, October 25th. San Marino High School ASB wanted to wait until after the coronation dance and will celebrate Monday, October 28th to Thursday, October 31st. And while Huntington Middle School ASB decided to postpone their Red Ribbon Week until November 4th through 8th because of the rescheduled 8th grade Pali trip. Last year, Red Ribbon Week fell during the 7th grade trip to Catalina, and HMS ASB cabinet really did not want the 8th grade to miss out on Red Ribbon Week celebrations 2 years in a row. As Dr. Richter mentioned, the National Red Ribbon Week theme is Life is a Movie, Film Drug Free. This theme serves as a powerful reminder that ordinary Americans nationwide contribute significantly to their communities every day by embracing a drug-free lifestyle. The annual Red Ribbon Week theme contest, sponsored by the National Family Partnership, attracts millions of submissions across the nation, inviting participants to craft slogans that embody the campaign's mission. This year's theme was selected because it inspires individuals to play their part in fostering safe, healthy, and drug-free communities. From healthcare professionals to educators, parents, and beyond, the theme underscores the collective impact achievable through dedication and commitment. In addition to sponsoring Red Ribbon Week, since 1979, PFA has worked with our civic and education leaders to address key issues through our diverse programs with each school site, including parent and adolescent education programs, and more recently, school site grants, sponsorship of the citywide anti-bias essay contest, with 62 entries received this year. It was really tight. I got to give a shout out to the city fifth graders. We had 33 entries from fifth graders. So the judges decide to award 4 additional honorable mention for the amazing participation from our fifth graders. And scholarships for San Marino High School graduating seniors pursuing studies aligned with PFA's mission. Additionally, for the first time in our history, the board of PFA has welcomed a San Marino High School student to participate as one of our community advisors. The quality events and programs historically put on and sponsored by PFA are supported solely by donations from our generous supporters. PFA is pleased to invite the San Marino community to 2 Red Ribbon Week speaker events in October 2024. In just 2 days, on Thursday, October 10th at 6 p.m. on Zoom, PFA will welcome journalist Lisa Lewis, author of The Sleep Deprived Teen. I loved Lisa's book. We're going to be giving away 3 copies, so please come to the Zoom. And I thank Lisa for her instrumental work in lobbying for California's law mandating that public high schools cannot start earlier than 8:30 a.m. As the parent of 2 teens whose wake times have shifted dramatically, I look forward to learning more. The event will explore an array of subjects, including how sleep patterns change during adolescence and the biological needs of teenagers. Lisa will debunk myths and clarify misunderstandings surrounding sleep in young people. Parents and teens will learn how adequate sleep boosts emotional resilience, influences decision-making, and impacts health behaviors. They will also discover the vital role sleep plays in academic performance and cognitive retention. Finally, attendees will gain actionable strategies for creating an optimal sleep environment within the context of technology use and workload management. Then, on Monday, October 28th at 7 p.m., right in the heart of National Red Ribbon Week, PFA is delighted to welcome UCLA Professor of Clinical Psychiatry, Dr. Timothy Fong, for a virtual program titled, this is a mouthful, Getting Ahead of the Game, How Gaming and Gambling Impact the Physical and Mental Development in Our Youth and How to Beat the Odds. Dr. Fong will discuss current science and understanding of how gaming and gambling behaviors affect the brain, body, mind, and spirit of young people. An overview of how the digital landscape and changing popular culture values around gaming and gambling will be presented to help inform caregivers and youth how their lives might be affected by gaming and gambling in a variety of intended and unintended ways. Dr. Fong will address best practices that parents and families can consider for help to avoid the addictive and harmful consequences of excessive gaming. Additionally, our dedicated site liaisons with thoughtful input from our principals, counselors, and ASBs have planned events to celebrate making healthy choices throughout Red Ribbon Week at each school site. Hyun Kim and Dr. Jennifer Wu at Carver have coordinated Red Ribbon Week plans, including on Monday, the 21st, Wear Red. We are ready to show our pledge to be happy and healthy. Tuesday is Silly Socks and Carver Gear Day. Carver kids show joy, kindness, and love from head to toe. On Wednesday, the 23rd, at Carver, it's Sports Team Gear Day. Team up, pledge to exercise, eat healthy, and say no to drugs. Students will wear their favorite team gear. Thursday is Backwards Day. Wear everything backwards and say no to bullies and peer pressure. Say yes to inclusion and safe actions. Carver will wrap up on Friday, October 25th, with the day themed Jump for Joy. Carver students will wear bright colors and jump for joy together with their friends, and there will be a jump rope giveaway. Our Valentine liaisons are Danya Sigler and Sheila Eckhart, and they've planned an amazing week as well. On Monday, the 21st is Red Day, Ready to Be Healthy. Tuesday, the 22nd is Team Up to Be Healthy. Wear your favorite sports team jersey and show your support for a healthy lifestyle. And students will have a healthy team up activity during PE. On Wednesday, to the 23rd, there will be an assembly, and the theme of the day is My Future is Bright. Students will wear the brightest neon colors they have, as well as sunglasses, and there will be an assembly with BMX bike riders. Thursday, the theme is Reach for the Stars. Wear yellow to shine like a star. There will be a Hollywood Walk of Fame activity during lunch, and students will make healthy goals inside the stars and then display it in the lunch court for the students to see. Valentine's own Walk of Fame. Friday, celebrations will wrap up. Celebrate Vikings with a Valentine film. So Vikings are encouraged to wear their Valentine spirit wear, and they will create a Valentine film to show the students. The film will be a compilation of pictures from the week's activities. This will show the students how much they've done in the week and how they were able to come together as a community to make healthy choices. And that day will also include a chalk art activity at lunch. And Red Ribbon Week pencils and stickers will go home with students. Moving on to the high school, San Marino High School site liaison Claudia Bowles is currently working with Mr. Care and San Marino High School ASB to plan an engaging week of activities at the high school. So ASB volunteers will continue the longstanding tradition of decorating trees with red ribbons to kick off Red Ribbon Week on Monday, October 28th. Also on that Monday, PFA will be bringing a representatives from Saluna to the Quad at lunch. The Saluna app, if you've not heard of it, is a free confidential mental health app for California residents ages 13 to 25, supported by funding from the California Department of Health Care Services. Features of the app include a digital journal, breathing techniques, self-expression activities, quizzes, and interactive tools like Thought Shaker, Starboard, and Mood Log. The app offers live coaching sessions with a professional drop-in coaching and peer interaction. It also includes community prompts and live events hosted by mental health experts. Finally, it's designed to be anonymous and secure, with no sharing of user data without permission, and it's free to use with no in-app purchases or ads. Huntington Middle School Site Liaison Dr. Shreya Boy has been working with Ms. Kelly Keto and Mr. Eric Giffords to combine celebrations of Red Ribbon Week with Peace Week. And the HMS ASB plan a week of events raising awareness on making healthy choices and avoiding substance abuse. Stay tuned for more information to come. Their Red Ribbon Week is still a month away, so. Finally, got to put in one more plug for our next PFA program in January, where former PFA board member, San Marino Unified parent of alumni and acclaimed parenting author, Dr. Tina Payne Bryson, will return to San Marino to discuss her new book, The Way of Play, elementary school folks, with her co-author, Georgie Weissen-Bissett. Full of science-backed research, real-life stories, and charming illustrations, The Way of Play will help parents nurture kids who are calm listeners, cooperative problem solvers, and respectful communicators. Just as important, they will help families have more fun together. Partnership for Awareness appreciates all of the leadership from the executive team, our school site administrators, and parents in the community. It truly is a partnership. So happy Red Ribbon Week, everyone.
All right, thank you, Toby. Are there any questions or, okay? Do I have a motion to approve resolution number 6 for support of Red Ribbon Week?
Move to.
Motion.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chang. Thank you,
Yeah.
Ms. Lamb. Roll call, Ms. Lamb,
Aye.
Mrs. Gill.
Aye.
Mr. Chang,
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan, aye, and Ms. Ta. Thank you. Motion has passed. I'd like to turn it over now to Dr. Stephen Choi to present the Development Fee Accountability Report as of June 30th, 2024 for approval.
Thank you, President Ryan, members of the board, student board member, and executive team. Item 12B is an action item regarding the Developer Fee Accountability Report as of June 30th, 2024. Developer fees, also known as school impact fees, are levied by school districts or property owners or developers for when they have new residential or commercial developments being built. These fees are used to help fund the construction and expansion of school facilities that will be affected by population growth resulting from the new developments. Our district completed a school facility fee justification report last year, and the updated developer fees went into effect this past November. As required by government code, the district must submit an annual report detailing the total fees collected and the ending fund balance within 180 days of the fiscal year's close. This report provides a summary of the beginning and ending balances, along with the fees collected. A 5-year report is also included, summarizing collections and fund balances over the past 5 years. For the fiscal year 2023-24, a total of $135,076.15 was collected in developer fees, with an ending fund balance of $981,590.01. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the Developer Fee Accountability Report as presented.
Move to approve.
Second.
Did you have a question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I would like to suggest, yeah, you and also with city hall, maybe manager or someone, the come out and maybe the one page. So what is the development fee? Because I think the citizen, they are kind of confusing, is that they collect from there or they collect from the school district. And I think that will help for the citizen to understand. Yeah.
I appreciate that suggestion and I will look into that. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Choi, and I had a motion on the floor. Was it Ms. Gill and Ms. Lam? Okay, so, motions on the floor. I'd like to do roll call.
Aye.
Thank you, Ms. Lam. Mrs. Gill?
Aye.
Mr. Chang?
I
Mrs. Ryan, aye, and Ms. Todd?
Aye.
All right. All right. I'd like to turn it back over to Dr. Stephen Choi to present the 23-24 parcel tax accountability report. This is recommended for the Board of Education to approve. This is an action item. The reports are from June 30th, 24 for Measure R and E as presented. Dr. Choi.
Thank you. The San Marino Unified School District is fortunate to benefit from two parcel taxes that play a critical role in maintaining the quality of our educational programs. These funds support classroom instruction, help limit increases in class sizes and reductions in teaching positions, attract and retain high-quality staff, and enhance student achievement. To ensure transparency and accountability to the community, we provide an annual parcel tax accountability report that details the funds collected and how they are used. Let's begin with Measure R. Originally passed by voters in November of 2009, Measure R was renewed in 2013 and again in 2019. This parcel tax collects $403 per parcel with an annual inflation factor and generates approximately $1.7 million annually, with exemptions available to seniors. Measure R is valid for 6 years and is set to expire in 2025. For the 2023-24 fiscal year, Measure R funded 11.4 full-time equivalent positions, including 2 elementary teachers, 1.8 middle school teachers, 3.6 high school teachers, 1 systems analyst, 1 counselor, and 1 site tech media specialist, for a total expenditure of $1,685,624.61. Now let's take a look at Measure E. E first passed in March of 2009, was renewed in 2015, and again in 2021. Measure E collects $1,022 per parcel with an inflation adjustment factor and generates about $4.2 million annually. Measure E expires in 2027. For the 23-24 fiscal year, Measure E supported 29.7 FTE positions, which includes 6 elementary teachers, 9.6 middle school teachers, 10.6 high school teachers, 2 counselors, and 1.5 technology services positions, for a total expenditure of $4,260,918.24. It is recommended that the board approve the parcel tax accountability reports for the 23-24 fiscal year as presented.
Any questions? All right, the recommendation is on the floor. Do I have a motion?
Move to approve.
Thank you, Mrs. Gill.
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Lam. Roll call. Ms. Lam,
Aye.
Mrs. Gill,
Aye.
Mr. Chang,
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan, aye, and student board member, Ms. Todd. Thank you. All right, superintendent, discussion. Mr. Chang, discussion.
I would like to apologize to the board for confusing me with my 22,000 instead of $22 million comment that I made earlier inadvertently. Didn't mean to scare you.
Yeah.
Board Clerk Gill, I apologize.
Okay. With no other comment, I'd like to adjourn the meeting.